Hello and welcome back to my channel, Emma Jane's Garden. Oh, there's a scarecrow right behind me. It has been a while since I've done a video, and I thought I'd show you what I'm doing today. So today I'm down on the plot and I have just weeded some of the beds in between my roses, and I am planting what I had left over of my alliums and some muscari and some bluebells. They all needed to go in. They're way too late going in, so they're going to flower a little bit later, but they're all starting to sprout, so I'm not too worried that they're going in too late. So I thought I would do a really quick video on what I'm doing today. If you follow my Instagram, you will have seen this on the stories. I've put some of this on the stories, but I'll put some of the footage from that in here as well. Okay, so I do have some muscari. Oh, that's a pretty one. It was a while ago I bought these, so I can't remember what's in the box. More muscari. I think these are just the blue ones. I think there's quite a few in there. Oh no, there's some alliums, some purple sensation alliums. I've got some daffodil. Oh, these are cute little daffodils. More muscari. I think that's all it is in here. Oh, more alliums. These are the drumstick alliums. Do love a drumstick allium. What's this? What's this? Ah, now these are bluebells, but these are the Spanish bluebells. And yes, these are the Spanish bluebells. And I've got these in this plot here. I'm going to be putting them in here. And they are nowhere near any native ones. But the Spanish ones make better cut flower than the native ones. But I do have native ones at home. So that's why I'm not taking those to my plot at home. And that's more drumstick alliums. I think that's it. I think all the rest is the same. That's what was in the box, and that's what I'm planting. Let me show you what I've done. So I've done the weeding now, and I've laid out some of the bulbs, and I'll show you how I've done the laying out. So this is my rose beds. So these are my rose beds. So it starts here. So these are the lines. This is how it was looking. I've got this buddleia that really needs to go. But every year I chop him back, it just comes back bigger, and I've tried digging it out and it still doesn't work. Anyway, this is the roses. So this is what I've done is the roses hit these. You can see that I've weeded in between, and then I will be mulching as well. And what I've done is I've literally just scattered the bulbs over the top, just so that I've got a bit of a mixture coming up. One, it'll look really nice, and two, it just gives it a lovely natural feel. But it just means that I've got a mixture of everything growing in between. I'm not worried about this competing with the roses whatsoever, because the roses will be coming out later than these bulbs. These bulbs will start to die down as the roses come up, and they won't mind being mulched either, because they're bulbs and they'll just keep coming up. So these are the bluebells, but you can see these are like a jumbo bluebell, so do not plant these, they're the Spanish type of bluebell, anywhere near a native woodland, because they will kill off the native woodland. So that's why I'm planting these on my plot. These ones make a way better cut flower than the native ones. So all I'm going to do is just sort of spin them around, because what they'll do is they'll multiply every year. So I just want to make sure that I've got plenty all the way along on this bit. This one I've got a mixture of muscari and I think it's purple sensation in these ones. As you can see, the roses are due for a cutback, but we're having a really cold snap here in the UK, and it's freezing. So it's actually only 5 degrees right now, and so digging has been a bit of a challenge. So although I'm growing these 4-cut flowers, I still want it to look nice. And I've got these lovely beds which I'm going to replicate. All my beds this year are going to be this wide, because sorry, that sun's really bright. That's worse. So what I've been doing metre wide beds with sort of half metre, sort of just less than half metre path in between, and it just wastes so much space, and I'm growing on a really small plot. So what I did when I took over this plot here that I'm on now last year, it had been used for sort of like a market garden, and so I left in the paths. I thought I'd see how it goes, and do you know what, it worked so much better than the way I've been doing it. is I've been doing it based on the sort of flower farms that you see that have got acres of land, where they can have a metre wide bed going sort of 6 metres long. It just doesn't work on a small scale. For me personally, it just doesn't work. So last year I planted all my dahlias in these little channels, and they're like 1/2 metre wide with like not even 1/2 metre path, just small of that, which is plenty enough to walk up and down, because I don't need to take my buckets or wheelbarrows in between, because my beds are so small. You can put the wheelbarrow at one end and clear it and throw your stuff into a wheelbarrow. You're not going miles. That's what I'm doing this year. So I'm going to be showing you how I'm doing the plot down below, which has got the metre beds at the moment, and it is a mess. In fact, would you like to come and have a look? While we're on the way, I just thought I'd show. My roof's fallen down, got blown down in the wind the other day. I'm just going to show you my dahlias. So I've left them in the ground this year. I do tend to leave them in the ground, but last year I lost almost all of them. Oh gosh. And I was absolutely gutted about it. I managed to save quite a few, and then bought new ones from Halls of Heddon, which is a brilliant dahlia place if you're here in the UK. But this is what I've done this year to my dahlias. So what I've done is let me uncover actually. So that's the dahlia, that's all the tops. I've only just taken the tops off because they were actually protecting them from the frost. So what I've done is I have covered everything in straw. So I've gone over every bed and I've covered it in straw to give it an insulation base. And then because we've had so much rain here in the UK, I've covered it in plastic just to stop any more rain going on it. And this is going to be really good. We have this cold snap at the moment, and it's actually not even cold underneath. I'm just hoping that doesn't. The plastic's really good to stop the rain going down. Although it's still underneath, it'll flow from underneath because we're on a hill. It's not going straight down onto them. My only concern is that it will trap in any moisture. But it's got, I think because of the straw is lifting the plastic off the ground, there's air going in and under. I think it's going to be okay. None of that is frozen underneath. Even when I've come down and it's been frozen everywhere else, none of that is frozen. And it is the wet and then the freezing which rots the dahlias. Not the freezing and not the wet, it's the two combined. Right, let's crack on. Let me show you what I've got down there. Hold on. Let's go this way. Are you ready for the shock of your lives? 1, 2, 3. Behold the mess of my plots. Don't judge me. It's just the way it is. So, under here are all my narcissi. This needs to be cleared this week because they are starting to grow and they're underneath this plastic at the moment. This is my snapdragons. Little experiment because the last couple of years some of them have come back and then I've had early flowers, but they're looking like they may have got completely frosted. This just needs to come out and then I can start planting. I've got foxgloves that desperately need to go in there. This is a half perennial bed, half dahlias. All coming out, don't want any of it. It's got to come out. I'm just going to cover it in plastic. Dahlias which haven't been covered, so whether they'll survive or not, I don't know. That's fingers crossed on that one. That's an annual bed which just needs to be covered in plastic. There's nothing in there I need to save. This is a half perennial, half annuals. Don't ever do this. Don't put perennials in with your annuals. It's a real pain because you can't just cover the beds. So I've got perennials in this bed. Believe it or not, there's 3 beds here. This bed, that bed, the one that I've covered, which was perennials, but I took them all out. This is the bit that I'm changing. I'm changing all of this into the same beds that I've got on that plot, which is that one there. And I'm going to have the smaller beds. So all of these are coming out and going over here, which is why I need to cover that and get rid of what's in there because they're not anything that I use. And these are flowers that I do use. I've got phlox in this one. The phlox need to come out as well and be moved. And then these beds I can put in. So you see I'll be able to get 2 beds in here easily because you can see how wide it is. I literally, when you're stood here, you can't reach to here to pick, and then I've got my herbs here. So it's just really bad. I've designed it so badly when I started doing it. I am in this is my 4th year, and I've learnt lots. I've learnt a lot from just doing it and failing and doing it and succeeding. So you've just got to find what's good for you. And I know that the beds up there work so much better, which is why I've covered all of these sections. The herbs, I think I'm going to get rid of the herbs. It's got lavender, but it's all gone scraggly. It's got mint. Mint grows anywhere. Just dig a few roots out and then it'll replant it, as does the marjoram, which is all that there is in there. So I might dig it all out and make this whole bit the same as the top, because that works so much better. So this is the one that's covered. This one's changing. I think I've just made a decision. I'm going to get rid of these herbs. You see it's got these horrible reeds growing all through it, and brambles, and it's just got to get rid of. And then last year I had pumpkins that was growing specifically for a wedding. This was my pumpkin patch. That wedding went down. Lux, it was amazing. Brilliant. Probably one of my favourite weddings of the year. So that was great, but obviously I'm not going to need pumpkins again this year, as far as I know, unless someone rings me and says they want a pumpkin wedding again. So this can be made into beds. This bit here is actually, for some reason, it's like got chip-ins and hardcore bits on it, so I'm not really sure what to do about this bit. And then what is going on in the mess of this plot, which I do still have, this is a really, again, let me show you this one. It was meant to be a very quick video. Now we're having a tour. Let's do a tour. Right, so we're going to go around to the other plot. So look. Don't judge me, okay? This is just how it is. I'm going to be honest. Flower farming's really bloody hard. It takes up so much time. I'm a florist and I love doing floristry. But the flower farming I find a bit more difficult, but much more rewarding. Because once you've grown that flower all that time and then you put it into someone's bridal bouquet or into a funeral, it's just, there's more to it than having just bought it from wholesale. There's meaning to that flower. That's your blood, sweat and tears have gone into those flowers, you know, so it means something rather than just buying it from a wholesale. But that's why I flower farm, because I just love being able to show somebody something that I've grown and looks amazing on their special days. Right, so enough of that. I'm going to show you what I've got up here. So over here in the grass is daffodils. Just need to weed the top of that. That's not bad. And daffodils are literally just starting to poke out, so that's super easy to pull out. All this is going, so everything you can see here. I've got some, I can't think what they're called, gooseberry bushes here, and I just doesn't have a fruit, so I'm going to get rid of it. And all this area here is going to be eucalyptus and twisted willow. This is newly done, so this has got some, I can't remember what I put in here, some narcissi I think, and then I've got some sweet william as well. It's a bit of a mixture in this bed, and I think there's some alliums and stuff in there. It was kind of I got a job lot of bulbs from somebody who gave them to me, so I just put them all in this bed. This again all needs getting rid of. There's actually a pond in here, which is why this has been left. There's a pond underneath there, and I know there's newts in it, so I'm leaving it for a minute. But this this bed has actually got aqualedra in it, granny's bonnet, really beautiful white ones, but obviously they're not going to come up with this grass on top, so I need to do something about that. This is daffodils. They've been in there a couple of years now, so they should start coming up soon. These are foxgloves. I absolutely love them. I've got way too many foxgloves this year, but I absolutely love them. So this is foxgloves. In here is actually a mint bed. It's complete. It's all mint. Obviously it's died back. And oh look, oh, the first flower of the year over here. This is a little anemone. So I used to have anemones in this bed. Oh look, there's quite a few coming up. I thought I'd lost them all. Obviously not. Oh God, I'm tripping over things. This bed, oh, you can't even see there's a bed here. There is a bed here. But this all needs sorting out. This had bell, what did it have in it? Canterbury bells in this one last year. I've covered it over, but not very well by the look of it. I think the wind's blown all that off. In here is my allium bed, and actually look, there are alliums coming. These are through the grass. See, bulbs are so resilient. I like a good bulb, so resilient. Some ice in the bucket. Oh look, alliums under the bucket. And then this is a bed full of Sweet William. The grass is just coming from the pathway. This is another mint bed because I use a lot of mint in my flowers. Oh look. Is she going to focus? There is a hibernating ladybird. So this is why I never cut anything back. I never cut it back until the spring proper starts, because I'll take some of the grass out but I don't cut things back because things hibernate in these long tall things. This is Angelica, so I'm leaving all these things up. This is a bed of, again, anemones. You can see these anemones, and then I've got some verbena in here as well. Again, grass taken over. And this was my gladioli bed, which is still full of gladioli, which I absolutely hate. I hate them. They were I don't hate gladioli. I just find them really difficult to work with. I do use them, but the ones in that bed, the ones that keep coming back, are really garish colours. They're just not pretty. They're just not pretty. So I didn't use them last year. I think I maybe used about 4. So that bed just needs ripping out. And what I'll do is I'll take the bulbs and I will plant them somewhere for someone else to enjoy. I might take some home, put them in my garden at home, or just leave them down on the table here as a sharing table, and someone can just help themselves to them. I don't mind. Anyway, that's what I wasn't doing a tour, but we've done a tour. Little tour of the mess. So don't worry if you're in the same boat. Do you know what? It's been so wet here that I haven't even been able to get down here, and this is probably the first time I've been down properly since before Christmas. The only time I came down was to cover the dahlias because I knew that we were having a frost and I was worried I was going to lose them. That was the only time I've come down. But I do need to crack on and get these bulbs in because I need to pick my kids up from school soon, and if these bulbs aren't in, I'm not picking my kids up. Bulbs come first. Anyway, I will see you in the next video. Don't know when that'll be. Soon, hopefully. And yeah, see you then. Bye bye.